Hello beautiful people, and you're welcome to my channel. So today I will be talking on how to understand your children using 9 basic temperamental or behavioral traits. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment and share. Most ardent movie lovers would know that most movie lines are adaptations of real-life scenarios. So I was watching a movie and there was this old man who was full of regrets on his dying bed. He was complaining bitterly to his supposedly good daughter on the failures he had in raising up his other children. And he said most of them turned out badly except for his good daughter. And his excuse was that he gave each and every one of them equal opportunities in life. Does that sound familiar? Have you been misunderstood as a kid and you are filled with regrets till date? Or do you have young children that you would like to understand them better, to be able to give them the right love that they need in order for them to thrive? Now, the mistake that the old man in the story did was to give each of his children equal opportunities. And that is a mistake that most parents, myself inclusive, do or used to do. Okay, so I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and each of them with their own unique temperaments and personalities, each different as day from night. And I realized that in order for me to be able to groom them properly, love them and care for them, and also to understand their purpose so that they can operate in their purpose from an early age, I had to do things differently. Parenting is one of the most difficult professions on earth. It's very noble, and in order for us to get it right, we need wisdom, not the worldly wisdom, but the wisdom that only comes from God. And with that realization began my search for intentional parenting. And of course, all this led me to understand and discover their unique traits using the acronym MAS RAPID. The M stands for mood, and it is a tendency to either be happy or to be unhappy. Now, each child has a predisposition to either positive or negative moods. Now, the negative children have a difficulty in being accepted or fitting in. And a child who is always in a good mood may fit into different environments and situations, but they are really not usually honest about the way they feel. They have the need to always make people happy while denying themselves of their true feelings and emotions. Now, activity level. The first A stands for activity level. A child with a high activity level may struggle to fit in to strict routines. Now, we see this in children who are usually fidgeters, who are restless, they play a lot. I have lots of children who are my friends and they are so restless. And you see such children, they are always disrupting class activities. They don't really like structure. And some parents usually say those children have a sugar high. They just have a high activity level. Now we see a child with a low activity level. They fit into structured environments, but they may often be viewed or sometimes negatively described as being unmotivated. Now the second A is approach and withdrawal. Bolder kids are often impulsive and may jump into things quickly. They have really low restraints. They usually want to test out the waters and they do not even mind any consequences. And the kids who are on the lower end of the spectrum, they're usually very hesitant to engage in new activities, and they may miss out of new opportunities and experiences. And this nature of them also lowers risk of engaging in harmful behaviors. The S stands for sensitivity. Highly sensitive kids, they have a high awareness of their environment. They have a high awareness of people's moods, their thoughts and emotion. And this could actually be very distractive because they're always looking out for silent approvals from people. Then the kids with lower sensitivity, they are more tolerant of people, but they may be slow to respond to environment or external stimulus, and they are often termed to be cold. The R stands for regularity. Now, in kids with high regularity, they thrive in structured environments and schedule and routine. I have a son who is actually very structured. He thrives in routine. And so I started putting him on routine as early as 6 months, and he thrived all throughout with that. That was because he has a high regularity. But the negativity in this is that they are usually bored. They get bored easily, kids with a high regularity. Now, the kids with a low regularity, it's difficult for them, it's difficult for parents to put them in a structure. Now, the A stands for adaptability. This is the rate at which a child would adjust to new changes. It describes adjustment after the initial shock or reaction to change. The P stands for persistence. Children with high persistence, kids with high persistence may be perfectionists and very successful academically. They're this kind of kids that would fail to submit an assignment or a project because they think it's not perfect. They would keep on tearing out their notes, seeking for perfection. Now, kids with less persistence, they are more inclined to give up or to ask for help from a grown-up in order to complete an assignment or a project. The I stands for intensity. Kids with a high intensity are those kids that would either laugh a lot or cry a lot. Everything they do is usually over the top. And some parents believe that it tires them out. So like, this child has come and it's getting me so anxious, or I'm tired of this child. The child just has a high intensity. Kids with lower intensity, they don't usually exhibit these emotions, not to say that they do not feel it. They feel it, but they do not exhibit it. They do not have the capacity to express the emotions. There are chances that some parents overlook the kids with a lower intensity and begin to focus more attention on the kids with a higher intensity. Now, parents of kids with a low intensity should be able to look out for subtle signs of problems in the kids with a lower intensity. Now, the final one is distractibility. Now, there are kids who are easily distracted. Even their daydreaming distracts them. Their thoughts distract them. They are really easily distracted. Now, they have other kids too with lower distractibility, and they can focus and focus for hours. Now, what to look out for as parents, it's not for either end of the spectrum, but we should aim for a middle ground. We should aim for, if our kids are on one end of the spectrum, we should aim to bring that child closer towards the middle. So do you have kids that fit into these 9 traits? And how has the experience been for you as a parent or a caregiver, especially in this lockdown period? You can please send in your comments or your suggestions, and we will be happy to learn from your unique experience. I'll be talking more on understanding your children in the month of July, so please tune in to learn more. Remember, I'm holding hands with you through it all, and God bless you.